But that brings up an interesting point right there, because I think as a business, obviously your philosophy is to deliver the best service to your client. Yes. But in that example that you just like mentioned, let's say it's Khalid and like Khalid's importance as a client and Pretz. I know you want to deliver the same service to me, but are all clients created equal?
Ooh, good question. Yes, of course, I have to say that. Yeah, of course.
No, I know, because I know myself.
Depends who calls, bro.
Yeah.
Depends on who makes that call. We always keep like a spare stock anyway, so we try to manage. At least I could try to manage your first day, and then we produce it the next day, and we'll send the balance. But yeah, we always try to help out our clients no matter what. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Hope It Helps. And today's a very special episode, guys, because it's the first time I have a repeat guest on my show. So
that's right.
Welcome everyone, Mr. Raja Abuljebain.
What's up, dude?
Welcome back.
You good? Bro, I'm back. Huh? I guess it was like requests from all my fans, bro. You know? Round two. Let me ask you how you've been, bro. You're asking everybody how people are and what they're doing. Bro, you got married, bro.
I did get married.
It's almost a year, but past a year now.
Yeah, year two. I say like the first year of marriage is one thing. After you pass first year of marriage, now you are in marriage. You know, it's not
that's 1 year of honeymoon period.
Exactly. You've gone over the hump. Now you're you're officially like in a marriage. You know.
Nice.
Like
now you're like
newlywed. You're married now. Khalas.
Yeah, khalas now. Yeah. It's not cute anymore.
Yeah, just like everyone else.
Well, I'm not there yet, so we're okay.
Guys, we'll put a slide into his DMs.
DMs.
Yeah.
Slide in DMs.
Habibi, bro, welcome back on the show, man. So, as we were talking just now off camera, we first recorded it. Guys, Deja was episode 11. And I listened back to the episode yesterday and like prepping for this, and I was like, this was 4 years ago. It was right in the middle of COVID. And
in my house.
In your house, yeah. And here we are now, almost 4 years to the month.
Has it been 4 years?
Yeah, 2020. 2020, that's when
time flies.
Time flies. I know. Where did it go?
Yeah.
And it was just crazy to see in both our lives and what we're doing, where we were at the time, the things we were discussing, and where we are right now. So now it's time. We talked last time about like the lessons of entrepreneurship and whatever, but now that things have changed in both our lives and we're in different phases in our careers, I wanted to have another conversation to see where we are right now and what have we learned and what can we, give other people. But
sure.
So back when we started last time, guys, for anyone who doesn't know, Raja is why don't you give us, for the people who missed it last time, give us a little bit of intro and we'll take it from there.
So besides being cousins,
yes, sir.
My favorite cousin sitting across from me. I am the CEO of Essentially Juices Manufacturing, which is a food and beverage manufacturing company. So we produce cold pressed juice companies and foods, clean label. Meaning clean label is whatever you see on the bottle is what goes into the bottle. No additives, no preservatives, no sugar. There's no sugar allowed in the entire facility. To be honest, I don't care if you want sugar in your tea; it doesn't exist in the facility.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
We started off as a little cleanse business and scaled the business to what it is today. And now we have moved into the food side of the business. So we have a few products that are they're somewhere around here, like bites, and we're moving protein bites, and we're moving into we're expanding that. Yes,
these are the protein bites, guys. These are new. These are the new ones that are coming out.
So these are already in the market. But we have a few new items that are coming on board very soon, all in the clean label space. And you'll be the first to know, of course. I'll bring it here for sampling. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. So first of all, I remember when we were having a conversation last time. So it was 2020. Yeah. And I think at the time you had just recently you guys had got bought out essentially, and now you guys were running it.
Acquired essentially. Yes.
So at the time you were telling me you'd recently bought the business, and he's like, right now I have 15 employees, 3 trucks, and a big warehouse. What do we have today?
Wow. I know nothing. To be honest, I knew nothing then, and I still know nothing now.
Yeah.
So today we moved into a state-of-the-art facility in Aquais. It's about 1,500 square feet. At the time, my business partner and I, we laughed. We said we should take the one next door, and we said we're never going to get to that size. And then a year later, we said, oh shit, we should have taken the one next door as well. But we're managing with our facility. We have 22 employees at the moment. 3 trucks are still there. We have scaled the business incredibly, we went from about, I don't know, let's say 1,000 bottles a day to, I don't know, I think we produce something like 7,000 bottles a day.
Wow, mashallah, man. That's awesome.
We're reaching everybody. And we've had some good news in the last couple of days, so we'll be reaching even more people.
Amazing.
In the select shops that we want to be in, and that's we can't talk about it too much until
Sure.
things are signed.
Sure.
But yes, we're very happy about that.
Sneak preview, guys. It's coming.
Sneak preview. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because, so I've been reading a lot recently and learning about like how to grow companies, what what do people do well, whatever. And one of the challenges I think is that no one really talks about. You talk about like. You'll hear the story about when the conversation we had when we started.
Yeah.
But no one really, in my opinion, dives into that scaling process and that journey. You know what I mean? So could you walk us through how did you guys scale that up to where it is today? Because that is the area where I'm like there's knowledge in there that is not talked about enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could touch on that, and I can dive head first into that.
Yeah.
A business is not a business if you don't scale. That's number one. So let's take it from, let's say, somewhat of a startup.
Sure.
You take a business. If you can't scale the business, then it's not a business. You might as well close shop.
Okay.
Right. So after I used to own a cold pressed juice company called Cold Pressed Juice Company, and we acquired essentially juices manufacturing, and we've taken it from where it was to where it is today. So scaling means having access to much broader reach, right? You have to enter the market aggressively.
Okay.
To do that, you need to have a foundation. Okay. Foundation means you have a good backing, you have a business partners, and you have general managers that are all on side and very intelligent, and you try to hire the best in that field, right?
For that position.
For that position.
Yeah.
Okay. What you see on CVs doesn't mean anything. You actually need to talk to people face to face, and a kind face and soft emails. I realize that people need to be very good in typing emails, because some emails go out or we receive, and you're like, "Who wrote this?" And some email, wait, this is how it should be written, and send it back out. But let me not digress into that. You need to have the strongest financial background. Right. And I don't. I'm a civil engineer, right? So you need to have a business partner who is the Jedi master of finance. So I think that our education system needs to start from zero, and everybody needs to be. It has to be a course from middle school, elementary, middle school, high school, accounting, finance, economics, business management, sales, marketing, things that we need today. I mean. Man, you can't run a business. You can't be. I was thinking about it today as a personal trainer. He can't scale, right? He has few clients, maybe, I don't know, he charges 350 dirhams or whatever it is, and does 10 clients a day. How does he scale his business? Well, you need to be you need to have quite a strong background to understand scale business. Have you noticed now? Personal traders are out there, but there's more group trading that's going on.
That's actually.
Have you noticed that? I was thinking about that on my way here.
That is actually very true.
Because a personal trader who's got a bit of intelligence behind him is like, how do I maximize my hour in the gym? So I might as well have 8 people doing a personalized group training session and do that for 6 hours a day versus having one client that I've got to do 10 hours a day. Right?
Yeah.
Now you have 8 people in one session. They're each paying the same amount of money. You've maximized that, so that person has scaled. Right?
Exactly.
That's. I was thinking about that today on my way here. From the financial background and strength, you will start looking at the numbers in fine detail, right?
Okay.
You need to maximize your profit. You need to understand what a top line and bottom line is. You need to understand where you lack in pricing of items, right? So we go out in the market, we assume that a price of an apple is this, where we can do much better if we actually dug deeper into that product that we're looking for. Labels, bottles, caps, machines, equipment. Of course, now we're in a position where I can dictate volume, right? Yeah. But I'm in a position now because we've grown the business. So I can say to my supplier, now I'm just giving numbers, right? I need 1 ton of oranges every day, for example. Before I couldn't dictate that price. So I can lock in now, I can lock in that price for the month or for the next month. And then, of course, there's fluctuation, there's war, ships aren't coming in. I mean, we're a fresh product, right? So everything is imported into the UAE, and we're buying from the local market. But because we're in a better position than we were years ago, I can now dictate on certain items and buy in bulk versus buying a smaller size.
Yeah.
I have somebody who's in the market daily scouring. This is another one. This is another position we employ. We have somebody in the business now that just scours the market daily and keeps relations with all my suppliers. I can't tomorrow just say, oh, sorry, I can't supply you apples. What do you mean? That's probably one of my biggest ingredients, or oranges. You know, and from all the sales of juice in the world, I think orange juice makes up for 75 or 80% of juice sales.
Oh, it's that high.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Okay. It's crazy, right? From there, you need to expand your product range, right? So you need to continue scouring the market, seeing what's happening in the rest of the world, and picking up trends. So our always go-to market to look at is Australia and the US. They are at least 10 years ahead of everybody else. Not the UK, funny enough. Australia and the US and New Zealand are always like 10 years ahead of the rest of the world. We're all trying to catch on in the health and wellness space. I hate the word health. In the wellness space to what they're doing. They introduce new products. They introduce...
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm curious. Sorry, just on that point, what is it they do? What is it that they do that they're so ahead of us right now that we're trying to catch up to? Is it infrastructure, processes?
Yeah, infrastructure, lifestyle, processes.
Yeah.
They're just very knowledgeable. They have space and land that they can grow things.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
They're just I think I know there's a lot of fat people in the world, but I think if you look at like California, Florida, these places, they're very like Australia. Every time you see an Australian, everyone's like really good shape. And I think they try to take care of themselves as much as possible, and they're constantly innovating new products. Like it's unbelievable. Whether it's guarana, moringa. There was a fruit that came by our desk the other day that's supposed to help your. I can't even, whatever it was. I mean, there's just things that come across our desk on a daily basis that we should try this, we should try that. So we've upgraded our juice range. We've upgraded our shot range, and very soon we'll be launching new food products that will all be, like I said, clean label. We've taken inspiration from these countries and what we've seen in the market growing.
So you guys primarily, as you started for the last 4 years, it was always a juice company. And now it's interesting that I get why you are entering the food space, because I've seen like on TikTok and whatever, like
natural progression.
People make juices and whatever, but then like, but with this, with like the pulp or the skin, you can take it and add granola, and then you have like some bites and whatever. So
pulp, you can make little dehydrated biscuits or little,
It's a very smart move because you're maximizing on the product you're getting already. You know what I mean? So there's
zero
less
waste,
exactly.
ESG. I mean, the only part of my business that we're not in control of is logistics, and it really bothers me because every time there's like some review on Google, it's always and this is really pisses me off because it's like there was a few months ago there was like heavy rain. Now I know last week there was heavy rain, but there was like heavy rain and the juice was delivered 15 minutes late. And we got a review at 7:05 when delivery was supposed to be between 4 and 7. My juice is late. Nobody's answering the phone. Well, it's 7 o'clock, and it's fucking pouring outside. I'm sorry if my driver, who I don't control, is a little bit late, but you give me a 1-star review. You haven't even tried the product. Like, there's no issue with the product. It's always the logistic part of the business that people give you like a hard time about. It's never like, the juice was... Never. The juice didn't taste good. Never. It's always, the juice was 15 minutes late and 1 star. Come on, guys. Come on.
But you know what? Like on that point is, I think we've gotten to a place, I think we've always been like that, but now more than ever and especially, I feel like we all want convenience so much and the whole world is gearing towards making our lives easier.
Now.
But I think in that example, especially here, because the quality and level of convenience is unmatched compared to anywhere in the world. Yeah,
I mean, people call us, they say, I want to do a 5-day cleanse starting tomorrow. Well, I need to produce your 5-day cleanse, and I can't deliver tomorrow. I need to deliver the next day. If you had called me at 8 o'clock in the morning, I could have probably squeezed it for you, but I have a production, I have a cycle. I'm only producing for you. I'm doing 7,000 bottles a day for clients that are much bigger than you. What am I supposed to do? Sorry, Pret a Manger, I'm not gonna deliver. Come on, guys. It doesn't work like that.
But that brings up an interesting point right there, because I think as a business, obviously your philosophy is to deliver the best service to your client. Yes. But in that example that you just like mentioned, let's say it's Khaled and like Khaled's importance as a client and Pret's. I know you want to deliver the same service to me, but are all clients created equal?
Ooh, good question. Yes, of course, I have to say that. Yeah, of course.
No, I know, because I know myself.
Depends who calls, bro.
Yeah.
Depends on who makes that call. We always keep like a spare stock anyway, so we try to manage. At least I could try to manage your first day, and then we reduce it the next day, and we'll send the balance. But yeah, we always try to help out our clients no matter what. Yeah.
On the financial background thing that you talked about, because this is an area like I'm gonna just. So my story right now, where I am, is with my business is the first year was kind of like ad hoc. You know, things just happened, and like one, two things led to another, and then I had like a couple clients. But now, like in year 2, as I call it, I'm like, I had to sit with like with dad to teach me like, oh, this is how you project, this is how you cost your time, you know, whatever. Because 100%. In my example, one of the things I wasn't doing correctly is because I'm providing a service. There's no financial cost to me if I don't do this or if I do this. However, if you're looking at it as a business, your time is how you make your money. So therefore,
your travel time,
everything. So
petrol.
There has to be a cost attached to that, so you know how to like price. So it's been such. This past year has been the biggest,
crazy,
like slap in the face of reality. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is, and because I thought I was so naive. I'm like, building a business and managing people, whatever. Okay, I'm not sure if I ever want to do that. But what I've been realizing through my research is kind of like what you're talking about earlier with the personal training example is if it's just my time, then I'm like, okay, my time is limited. There's 24 hours in a day. How do I maximize my time? What else do I need to do? Like all these different things. And I thought being a solopreneur as I am, I'm like, okay, no employees, no costs, whatever. It'd be so much easier because it's just me. It's just Khaled. And like I have some partners I bring in for projects. And I'm like, okay, this is fucked. This is fucking hard.
You're stretched from all sides and pulled left and right.
Exactly. So entrepreneurship, in my opinion, besides the difficulties and the challenges of doing what you've done and like growing a business and people and logistics and managing all these different things, I believe what I would tell people is it's the biggest personal development arena because you're going to be forced to handle and deal and change with things that you were 100%. Never even prepared for. Was that a similar experience for you?
Over my head, you know, and you have to be honest and realistic with yourself. So I'm now over the summer I'm going to be taking finance courses just to get myself up to par.
Amazing.
Summertime's a bit slower for everybody. I'm not traveling much this summer, so just easy to book yourself in for a week long course doing finance for non-finance professionals, non-executives, and just try to up my game, my understanding. Not that I don't understand, but I'd rather go into the details of these things. So it's just it's been on my mind for a while, and I said, look, I've already registered, it's already done, so I'm going to do 3 or 4 over between now and the end of the summer just to up my game.
Yeah, man. Why?
You have to. You have to be honest. You can't.
When does, because this is the question that becomes next, because in entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurship,
maybe it's the coffee.
That what you just said is the hardest thing because you have
to be honest with yourself. And
you also have to, like, there's a point where there's delusion and there's reality, right? But 100%. You need, but every entrepreneur needs a bit of both.
I told you this a few years, never fall in love with your business.
Yes, it's here.
Yeah, so it's there.
Okay, you tell me this. What advice would you have to me? I'm like, never fall in love with your business. And the last guest I had on the podcast, we were talking about, he was in the corporate world for 22 years. Now he launched his own business. And I'm like, would you go back? And he's like, yeah, easily and happily. And I'm like, I don't have that same feeling. I have like fear and like failure and whatever. So you said never fall in love with your business. But in my case, for example, I am my fucking business. So then, you know what I mean? Right. So like what, in my perspective, I'm like, how should I be thinking differently, whatever? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to like
improve. You'll know very soon, or, you know, that if this is working or not working, you'll know, you know, can you be spending more time? I mean, at the end of the day, you're married, you have responsibilities. Is my time dedicated? It all comes down to finance, right? You have to be secure financially. So how much longer can I stretch myself till I start making money off of what I do? Whether it's a side project, whether it's a business, full-time job, an investment, you have to put a time cap on that project. And people who fall in love with their business, they just think, you know, it'll solve its way eventually.
Yeah. If I'm being gonna sit here and be 100% honest, I definitely do have a bit of that for sure.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to say, and then
no, a bit of that belief that that it will.
Yeah,
at some point it will hit. You know what I mean?
Do. Yeah, and I stretch myself as thin as possible, and you do this and you do that, and it's okay. But dude, you have to have a cutoff point to say, let's give up or not. Now, in my case, I have 25 employees, so I can't say goodbye.
Yeah.
And liabilities are all on top of us as a business.
Of course.
Maybe a few years ago we could have just ducked out and said, okay, enough of this, and we would have had a few things that we had sorted out. But now it's impossible. So you have to die for. Dude, I didn't go on holiday last summer. I didn't go on holiday. I didn't leave the country for a year. I went on holiday last week, and it was a year since I left the country. Things like that you have to give up. Like things, financial things, luxuries. I don't know. I mean, you have to make things work. You have to make things work if you believe in your business. So don't fall in love with your business, but if you believe in your business, then you have to do your own mental, I don't know what to say, mental strength to get to the end game.
Yeah.
You know? And it's hard managing people. You have business partners, no matter how best friends that you are, there's always a day that there's going to be an argument. And sometimes I don't understand something, or my business partner doesn't understand something, and I'm better with people than he is, than they are. I mean, it's just, so sometimes I say, listen, mate, let me just handle this because I will be able to manage the situation. Some people are very
very
blunt.
strict. Yeah.
Let me handle this, and there's not a single person in the UAE I can't reach to. Somehow, some way, you tell me you need to get to this person, I will get to this person, right?
Yeah.
Not many people have this ability, and I can speak to everybody, anyone. I have no problem. I'll go to the guy next door right now, your neighbor, and say, hey, buddy, how are you? Want to have a coffee? It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
And then, but luckily, on the other side, my business partner is like the Jedi master of numbers, and so the balance,
you need that balance
work. And we have a chairman who's he's been chairman of a huge company for years, and he kind of oversees the entire operation. I didn't tell you that we're a listed company, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that next. So yeah, it has to be a team. And if you're weak in one part, like I know I am, I got to fix that. So I'm going to, over the summer, like I said, I'll be doing a few courses just to sharpen these things.
Yeah. And on that point, like building a team and like delegating and stuff, I feel like where I am or where I'm going, I'm gonna have a business with employees, but it's gonna happen not by like choice. It's gonna happen by accident. As time goes on, I feel I'm just gonna be pulling people in, and something's gonna build out of that. That's how I think. But my thing is, my biggest challenge with all of this is, as an entrepreneur, my question isn't, and I spoke to someone on the podcast, and they're like, I know where I want to go, but my problem is I have no fucking idea how to get there. Do I turn left? Do I turn right? Do I jump up? Do I jump down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this year, for example, I've finally, the last like 2-3 months, now I'm doing things, or I've joined things and whatever, because I'm like, fuck it. Like, I don't know. Maybe this will work. Maybe that will work. And I just feel like I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall, and I want like something. Stick. But it needs to be.
The penny's got to drop, as they say.
Thank you very much. I'm like, everything I'm doing is right now, I'm just like, I feel like I'm at the top of the mountain, I just need a little bit more, and then I'll be like, be able to see up.
Yeah.
This is not everything I'm doing now. In my opinion, I'm like, this won't pay off today, tomorrow. This is going to pay off in the next 6 months to a year, but it will pay off nicely.
Yeah.
But then it comes like, but then you have finance and cash flow and patience, and
rent.
Can you do it? And can you do it? Yeah,
all. And you want to have an employee, you got to pay the employee, and you want to have the employee under your visa, bro. Wait, you have to give him insurance, and the insurance, like it's not his visa. And then if you have an employee that gets sick regularly, your premium goes up.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
So,
wow. Like sometimes, and I never get sick. Neither does my business partner. But employees seem to be getting sick all the time. And I'm looking like, hey, you don't get sick. Like, I don't understand why.
Well, they're not in those. They haven't worked with Carlo to like figure this shit out. Shout out to Carlo, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Carlo.
Big shout out. So we talked. You touched on briefly the public, being a public listed company.
Yes.
And last time we had a conversation, we were talking about it, and what I want to understand from you is, what was you guys were scaling. Yeah, you guys were scaling the business, great.
Yeah.
I think when we talked last time, in your mind, you were building happy to have like a big exit later on. I think, I remember, I think you mentioned, I don't mind, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi
Yeah,
coming.
of course.
coming
That's my
up
dream.
by
Still my
his-
dream. Hello, Coca-Cola.
But what was your decision to do that, and how has that changed? Because taking something public is something I've never talked about or
Yeah.
understood. So I don't know what that
I still
process
don't understand it. Okay,
looks
so
like. Yeah. So
a year ago, March 17th, we took essentially public, and we listed on the Aquais Exchange in the UK, which is the smallest market, and it's the growth market. Companies that are similar size to us that are moving up the ranks. Approach this market. Yeah, it's good juice. Huh?
fantastic. Let's check this out.
And they list their business. So the reason we listed is A, to raise. It's an easier way to raise money, and B, we want essentially Group PLC to be an investment vehicle, so we can acquire like-minded brands. We've already done our first acquisition. It's in the public domain. So we just recently bought an avocado trading business in the UAE. Yes, and that whole operation is coming into the essentially portfolio and into the warehouse. From there, we will be selling avocado, which this particular business already does, premium avocados to all the premium restaurants, premium avocados, premium. We should use that as a slogan. And so now that business is now in-house. We are looking at other companies in the UAE that are also quite interesting. There's a few. We'll touch on that later. But there's a few interesting companies coming up here in the UAE that our eyes are on. But so this is the reason why we did it. So we offered. We did an IPO. We offered X number of shares to the public, which is a whole other ballgame, because now you have to answer not only to yourself but to several shareholders. You have to answer to a corporate advisor who sits in the UK. You have to answer to the exchange. You cannot have conversations with random people right here or in a pub to say, oh, I've been speaking to this client. Maybe there's going to be, I don't know, potentially there's going to be a contract signed, because that means that I've given you inside information. And literally it's what you see in the movies, and we'd both be in a lot of trouble. So you have to keep your mouth shut, which is quite a good thing. I think people should keep their cards close to them. I'm the kind of guy that likes to tell everybody everything. I think I only see good in people. And I don't think anyone tries to take what I say but a lot of people are jealous. So I've learned to hold my cards closer to my heart instead of just divulging information. But that's another subject. We are a year in.
Okay.
Trust me, the share price, I look at it every 2 seconds to see if my share price goes up and down. I hate it.
But that must be
frustrating.
Yes. Yeah, like anxiety.
There are good days and bad days.
Yeah, like, oh, today I'm worth X, and tomorrow I've lost like 10% of like what I had of my worth or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's more like people that I know who bought shares in the business, not through Essentially, but through various platforms. So I bought some shares from Essentially, and then they come to you like, oh, bro, share price is down, and then share price is up. Oh, share price. Bro, I can't control the market. I'm not the market maker. All I can do is promise to keep delivering on my numbers, on my deliverables, and keep signing bigger contracts so that we grow the business. So every time we release an RNS, essentially just bought this business called Best of Latin. That of course excites the market that this company is going quite well. So the share price starts ticking up, and then people who buy here, they sell here. I can't control. I don't know who's. You could be a shareholder. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't. I have no idea who's a shareholder from the offering that we initially gave the IPO. So it's always it is a roller coaster. The UK is now 3 hours, 4 hours behind last week. Sometimes it'll be, and I sleep quite early. It'll be 9 o'clock, and I'll receive an email, or it could be I could be on my walk, and I do my walks religiously, and I'll receive an email. Respond now. Come on, guys. Either I pay you, so you're either on my time or it's been a roller coaster, but it's fantastic. Again, we have identified a few more companies that we are taking a look at, and we hope to proceed further. We've done number 1 now, and let's see. See. No, it's good.
That makes a lot of sense now. So
one more thing is that we needed. Once you're a listed company, your corporate governance is in order. So people look at you like you run an organized operation.
You must be, yeah.
Exactly.
Of course.
So people have more confidence in investing money and buying shares in your business. And the whole idea was to raise some capital. Because every time we went out here, and we're a relatively small business in a small market, to raise some money or to get investment into the business, you would say, I'm just giving numbers. I need $1 million, and you can have, just for numbers' sake, and I'll give you 10% of the business. They'll say, no, I'll give you $1 million and I want 90% of the business and full control. Mate, you don't know how to sell juice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And this is the problem that we face, and I think many people face in countries where you have a smaller market. It's always the person or the company that has big, deep pockets, and they demand quite a bit from your business. So some people who are forced to do that because they are cash flow restricted. Luckily, we were not at the time, so we managed to do what we wanted to do. And the only option was not the only option. There's many options, but we found that listing the business was the best option for us to move forward, and gives you global exposure, right?
Well, yeah,
that is what we have. Companies in the UK contacting us to acquire them. Well, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, we're so and so brand. We love what you're doing, trying to raise some money. Would you be interested in investing in this business or acquire? It is amazing. It really is amazing.
On that, so you did the IPO because you wanted to raise capital to build, to
grow
create,
our business.
yeah, to create like a holding group, a holding F&B group that incorporates juice and food and different products and stuff. Exactly. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Is there a risk though if I IPO? What if no one buys my shares? That means I didn't just. Yeah. Okay, we want to raise X. We're going to IPO to be able to give us the chance to raise X. Did you manage to raise that
before you
that
IPO,
or more
exchange,
or less, or how does it?
So before we listed, the exchange required us to raise some money, and we did raise that money.
Oh, really? You had to raise before you can?
Yes, because they look at it as that you're overseas, small market. Okay, fine. If you think that your numbers are correct and people believe in your product, then raise X amount, which we did, and then we're happy to have you on board. So we managed to do that, of course. Yeah, that's it. That's what we did. Yeah,
and that's what opened. So you have to raise that to be able to join that platform. And from their perspective, what is? Because I don't know how they.
So we're a small brand, right? So I'm not Coca-Cola listing, that's different story, right?
But from the exchange's perspective, why would I want to have another company on my exchange? What's the benefit that they get? I don't know what the other side is.
Besides the fees.
You have to, is it a recurring fee that you have to pay?
So let me tell you about listing.
Yeah.
The fees are astronomical.
Really?
Astronomical.
Really?
Yes, it is. It is a few £100,000 a year to be besides your corporate advisor, your accounting, your reporting accountant.
Just to be on it.
Yeah. It's non-stop quarterly fees. It's incredible. Yeah. It goes down after the first year, but it is incredible.
Okay, that's a brand new information for me.
It's great. So what is the benefit of an exchange? So we're on the Aquais Exchange. Again, it's a growth market exchange. So they want to have companies like ours. And we were the first non-UK based company to list on the exchange.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, the UAE and the UK have this sort of like best friend,
like
buddy,
homies. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they wanted us on. We do pay them a fee, of course, and it just expands their portfolio. So people look at it like, wow, because they're also listed. So I mean, people, So when they have a company like ours join their platform, it also
raises their value
exactly and their profile.
Okay.
And they want to be that growth market, helping smaller businesses list, and that's exactly why they do it.
Dude, that's so interesting. I don't know any of these things.
I would love to list on the LSE, but that's like £1 million. But and my company valuation needs to be like, But it's not.
You can throw you guys just
not yet.
So we were just talking about how you were walking us through the fees that come with going public and giving us a deeper insight into all these things. I thought going public was such a simple, like, I knew it was a complicated thing, but I'm like, you go public, you give shares and you make money. And clearly
it's not like Gordon Gekko or Wolf of Wall Street. I wish it was like that, but it's not. So there's a lot of responsibility, and you have shareholders to answer to, as I said before, and you can't just be cowboying around people's money. And so yes, but we have stuck to our guns, and we're consistently hitting those numbers, and I'm sure all shareholders are very happy with us.
Was it from a mental perspective? Because like you said, now going public, you have a responsibility to a large number of people, a large number of shareholders. But already before, when you're running the business, you have the pressures of running a business and so on, and your commitment to paying your employees and so on. Was it a difficult mindset shift for you because this is a new kind of pressure that you're gonna have to like take into account with everything?
Pressure and stress. All right, we'll touch on that in a minute because okay. So the thing with this is that it takes away from your daily operations. Your focus shifts to satisfy your PLC, public listed company, and to continue managing your holding company, your operating company. So, yes, we in the beginning it was a bit rough, but now we've sort of managed it. But it is nonstop stress. Like you have to be on top of your game 24/7. So no, it's not easy. It does take away from your time, but we have to do it. There's no option. You have to.
Was it a challenge for you? Because this is an area that you touched on it earlier. You know, hiring the best person for that job, for that position. And I just finished reading a book called Good to Great. I referenced it even in my last podcast, but it was just such an eye-opening book, and it showed me the importance of what do the most successful companies do, how important people are. Like people talk about people all the time, like your companies, your people, and whatever. But I learned it's like no, your company is the right people, not necessarily the people.
Yes, the company is the right people.
The right people.
Yeah.
So. Because from my perspective, I know for what I'm doing, I have already in my mind, I'm like, these are two areas I'd like to have maybe someone to run all my editing for me. I'd like to maybe have someone to help me, you know, on the marketing and say, but I'm also in a position, and this is like a mental maturity thing that I need to break out of, which is, but then I tell myself, but Khaled, why pay for someone else because you do everything yourself anyway, and you know how to do it, and you do it well, and you're happy with it, and you have control over how it goes and whatever, and you can change and adjust. So learning to for me now, I'm in that phase, I think, learning to I need to let go and trust and delegate people. So was that a hard thing to learn?
Which is unlike Arab style.
I know.
I know everything. One man show.
Yeah. And, well, I'm running as a one man show right now, so I need to grow out of it. I think.
Yes. Again, to grow your business to scale, you can't be looking at, I mean, we know every single part of the business, but there's parts of the business that need to be delegated and managed by the professional. And we have an employee, she's fantastic. She's our general manager, head of sales, et cetera, and she's unbelievable. And we have a fantastic distribution manager who speaks directly to the client and manages the number. So no longer am I, and he's quite blunt, and that you need that bluntness to
get through
to manage
your
distributor relations, and supermarket chains, et cetera. So those were he just came on board less than a year ago, and she's been with us for a while, but they really help the business. And then your head of finance needs to be quite good. He's okay, but again, he has to answer to my business partner, who's like, I can't tell you, like Jedi master of anything. Hire well, don't hire cheap. I mean, what's expensive is your marketing and advertising budget, which are two separate budgets, which I didn't know. Right? And there's a marketing budget and there's advertising budget.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tell me about.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So it's not like one.
Because you know, it's interesting. I've even worked in an agency for a year, and I ran their sales and whatever. But even I didn't realize that there are two different things. Literally, until you just said it. In my mind, marketing encompassed all of it, and that budget is dedicated to like. You have to. It's just purely advertising. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you have an advertising budget to reach different avenues, and you have your marketing budget to market your product. Which is different to one leads to sales, and one leads to the presence of your product, right? So
okay.
And advertising sometimes doesn't mean you're going to get sales, and market doesn't mean you get sales, and then you have to start figuring out which campaigns to release at what time to target which people, geolocate which people, and we outsource that part of the business. She's actually quite fantastic. We hope to bring that part in-house very soon, and we want to in the next raise we want to dedicate a large sum. We have tried to hire external companies to do this, marketing companies to do this. I find that these companies might be good in certain retail products, but not in the beverage retail space or the health, food, and beverage retail space. So Yeah, eventually we want to bring that whole process in and hire that person to be full-time and give her a good budget behind her, both marketing and advertising, and push both avenues.
Exactly. And on the marketing side, honestly, only until the last few years have I realized I never knew how important marketing was. I always thought of it as, even when I worked in sales, like the marketing guys would be like, we're the ones talking to the clients. We go tell them, guys, this is what they're asking. Go make us content, based on that. Mm-hmm. But one of my biggest mistakes, and it's still something that I'm trying to improve these days, is now we live in a content world. You have to be out there all the time. You have to be marketing yourself. And I think that has been, for me, and it still is something I'm working on, getting out of that, getting out of my head, getting over that insecurity, passing through and being like, fuck this. I have to just put my face out there like, hey guys, this is Khaled, this is who I am, and this is what you do. Alhamdulillah, for me, my podcast is my way to do that. Yeah. And it's very comfortable for me because it's a conversation and there's so much more value that I get out of it. But marketing is definitely something that I didn't pay enough attention to. And this is something that I was thinking about. You said, even you actually started the conversation with this. You're like, I knew nothing then and I know nothing now. Okay. Now on this point, okay, I get your mindset is, I agree with it and it's correct. And that's how you should be if you want to grow as a person and learn and whatever. However, I deal with people sometimes in my work and they'll come and tell me, oh, I think the podcast should be like this. Oh, I think it should be like that. And I'm like, with all due respect, shut the fuck up. You don't know anything. Yeah. So, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a line between I should keep an open mind. I don't know anything and I can learn. Let me take what this person's saying and see it from a different perspective. And there's certain times that I'm like, no, you know nothing. I definitely know something about this and this is not going to work. So how do you manage that balance and that line? It's so hard.
Yeah, everybody's got to put the 2 cents in. I mean, we're coming out with something with a new beverage very, very soon. And the only comment was, it's a protein, which we do something similar, but now we'll have a X number of grams of protein in it. And the only comment, because somebody has to make a comment, it's a little bit grainy. They didn't complain about the taste or the fact that it's 28-day shelf life or that it's in a biodegradable bottle, which is very important, or the taste and the flavor, everything, delicious. It's a bit grainy because they had nothing else to say but to give you their 2 cents.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Thank you, please.
Yeah, and I find people, if you can't say something positive, don't say it. I feel like people are very quick to give you negative feedback.
Criticism.
Just for the sake to criticize, just for the sake of doing it, but
not to help you.
No, not to help you. People like to give bad news.
Yeah.
People like to I will never ever give anyone bad news. I always find a way to manage this, say this differently, say that. I mean, unless you piss me off, but I can give people bad news very, very quickly. But I don't know, man. I don't know. If I don't like this coffee, I'm never going to tell you this is shit. I won't tell you it's shit, but I'm going to tell my. I'm like, it's okay, man. I think I liked it. I enjoyed it. Maybe the cup was warm or something. I just don't like giving.
Yeah.
Unless you piss me off, and that's
I'm
quite blunt.
Exactly,
as you know.
Yeah, and everyone has their lines and their limits. And I heard this piece of advice once, from a podcast. They're like and kind of building on what you said. Like, everyone's gonna talk, everyone's gonna have an opinion. Yeah. But she was saying, she's like, if they're not playing in your arena. If, for example, someone comes to me and you're not building a business, you're not doing this, you don't know about podcasting, and they're trying to give you criticism, they can go fuck. You can tell them to go fuck off, because if you're not in my world, in my arena, then your criticism and your feedback means zero. It doesn't mean anything to me. Why I shouldn't even need to acknowledge it. Thank you. And you said earlier about keeping your cards close to your chest, and you mentioned last time what your mom, Shara Khalto, I love you. The words of advice she gave you, it's always better to say a few words less than saying a few words more.
Yeah, that's really, really important. I mean, if we have to write serious emails, I must read that email 300 times before I send it. And I'm a kind of guy, I have to type and I have to read and I have to write it to get it
clear.
Yeah, clear. Yeah. This the way I am. And some things you can say more blunt, and some things you can say a bit more happy and a bit more. Depends what you're trying to receive, but definitely. And another important comment is answer the question you're given.
Answer the question you're given.
Yes. Don't give more information than the question that they ask. Just because you think somebody's, maybe I should explain this to him or them as well. They asked you, I don't know. They asked you what kind of bottle you're using, or biodegradable bottle. Don't say that you're doing. I can't. What I'm saying. Answer the question that you're given.
Yeah. In your experience, like learning to keep your cards close to your chest, and if we're taking that phrase and like building on it, because I had this debate when I first came back from Amsterdam with Dad. Me and him were like going, head to head about this whole vulnerability thing. He's a fucking traditional Arab man, and I'm like the millennial that just grew up and like, there's mental health and you have to whatever. So it's not. So I thought, I'm like, the only way to truly be vulnerable is to tell everyone everything, and more than what I should. Yeah. Because from my perspective, I was like, if I don't tell you everything, the final lesson or message I'm going to give you won't land as hard. However, what he taught me was, or what I've learned also in my experience is, people will use anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law or in the world or on social media or whatever.
They will 100% do that. You're right. 100%.
Yeah. And that was a big adjustment for me. But how do you, the question I start to think about is, you have to learn to be, it's not changing who you are, it's becoming more tactical in how you...
It's experience, dude.
Right? Isn't experience. That's what it comes down to, right? Do you have any examples of like a time where you might have had a meeting with someone, spoken to someone, and then after you're like, fuck, probably didn't need to say that, or maybe I said a little bit too much.
I can't say too much online, but there was a particular company that came to visit us a few years ago that had aspiring ideas of investing heavily into our business.
Okay.
They came in, saw the entire facility, yes. Next thing, they purchased certain equipment that are identical to ours and proceeded to, and funny because they've been knocking on the door again.
Doors closed.
Yeah, well, depends how big you are, but it's, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You cannot say anything to anyone. Really, it's keep your cards close to your chest, and everyone's out there, mate. Yeah, everyone's out there.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you see the good in people. You're a very optimistic person. What I've been realizing over the last few years, and more recently this year, like doing a lot more thinking, I'm like, I see the bad, not the good.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
but it's not helpful to me, or maybe it's a defense mechanism, or maybe I don't know.
And people ask questions, they try to draw information from you. Mm-hmm. One bit of information, okay, 2 bit of information, and then a 3, you're like, mate. Now, you have to start saying, we'll check. Yeah, maybe sometimes.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back to that. They just try to draw information. Actually, somebody was trying to get a hold of us the other day, and we have this HPP machine, which is allows you to extend the shelf life of this juice, for example. The juice goes into a chamber, applies massive pressure, and it comes out the other end, 28-day shelf life. There are 4 machines. One is for private use. One was the first company that had this machine. We were the second, and another company has this. So the first company has now shut their doors. So everybody's knocking on our door, whether you're a friend or a foe, because they need to extend the shelf life of whether it's a soup, whether it's a hummus, whether it's a juice, whether it's a piece of beef, because you can extend the shelf life of anything in theory.
So now that's interesting. So that's kind of a new revenue model even for your business.
So once we bought this machine in 2 years ago, which cost us a fortune, we always treated it as us priority, and then the second half of the day is another revenue stream. So even competing juice businesses are processing their juices, their product in our facility, and we have to do that. Otherwise, how are you going to pay this machine back?
Yeah,
and the machine can run 23 hours a day, so it needs to move, and it costs more energy to turn the machine back on than it is to keep it going, because it has to. That pressure is just
ramp back up.
You just wanna, and then let it keep going. We are in a situation now where an old client who ventured out wants to come back in. To be honest, I'm not so sure. We'll see. We'll see if we'll help them out, because they have no choice right now. Either you go to Al Ain and process to that other party, or you need to come to us. So we'll see. We're in discussions with that, but certain parties weren't the friendliest, and it's funny how things turn. But you can't just say sorry, go fuck yourself, because it's a small market. What if tomorrow morning my door's closed? Then everyone will be laughing stock. So you can't just be like, no, fuck this guy. No, I'm not going to work with that guy. I don't let that guy step on my shoes. Fuck. No, we are a business. We're in business to make money. And people need to have this focus. I need to increase revenue streams. How do I do that? I need to toll for other companies. Perfect. Because that's going to pay for half my staff or all my staff. You have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to think outside the box. You know, yes, maybe they rub me the wrong way, but that could be a 200,000 dirham a year client. I'd like that. And they're growing. You know, for me, that's...
Yeah. And see what you just...
We are in business to make money.
Thank you very much. And that is, Raja, you saying that, it just like hit home for me in my head. And I'm like, okay, Khaled. That's, you've got, like, that's an area that I've realized recently, that's an area I need to work on. I'm a very vengeful person, unfortunately. Yeah. You know, and it's a very immature thing, and it's something that I need to work on and get better at.
Dude, we're all there. I'm 10 years older than you. So, you know, emotions are different, you know, experiences are different, but at the end of the day.
But the same rules apply. That's what I have to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how my mindset has to be. Exactly.
You were in business to make money.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, maybe you won't be so accommodating in timings and to this person's schedule. They have to adapt to your schedule, but you try to do it if you can.
Yeah. When it comes to everything you've done, obviously when you're building a business, everything comes with an element of risk, because you don't know, like, for example, that machine, you could have bought that machine and then it breaks down, or it's useless, or there was no need, whatever. So learning how to manage risk as an entrepreneur, I think, is a very hard thing. I've been doing a lot of reading and I've realized that someone said on a podcast, like, if you're like 70% comfortable with a decision, take it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to always know everything, and you're never going to be 100% comfortable. So get yourself to a certain point that you're like, okay, that makes sense. Go for it. If not, then don't do it.
I agree with that.
But how do you, I guess, in your experience, how have you learned to manage risk and evaluate risk?
Planning. Yeah, you got to plan.
Like contingencies, plan Bs.
You always have to have another, I don't know, man. Like you said, plan B. When machine breaks down, what are you going to do? And let's say the two companies that own them hate each other. Well, if that company eventually is going to break down, you know, and it's happened to another friend of ours, and we came and we said, and our machine wasn't what we said, and they said no. Funny enough, their machine went down, and now they're, please, can we get some help? Well, so you need to maintain relations. Yeah,
mom always says, don't burn bridges.
Don't burn bridges.
You know, but like, I have certain situations that I've thought of or whatever. I'm like, if I was in that situation, not only would I burn the bridge, I would have bombed the place and then like burn the bridge. But see, this is where my immaturity is still something I have to work on. Yeah.
Look, for us, that machine extends the shelf life of juice to 28 days. So we immediately have to inform clients that the machine is down. We are still delivering juice, but the juice will expire on, let's say, in 4 days. Once our machine is back up and running, we'll replenish that and we'll take the wastes that you're about, so that the client doesn't feel any pressure.
Can you let's say you made the juice, you pressurized it 28 days. Now the 28 days is expired. Can I open it and repressurize it no, khalas, that's
Once you open and oxidizes, that's
done.
It. You need to drink that product within 3 days.
Okay.
You can do that.
Damn, man. Logistically, your business is it's because you guys are also, I've learned from other people, like, I didn't know, for example, supermarkets, how they work. I thought supermarkets are the ones that... I
still understand, mate.
They just rent space.
Fridge space.
It's just space, and everyone comes
shelf space, fridge space.
Yeah, exactly. All these things you have to take into account. Yeah.
The list is endless, and the fee. On top of that, listing fee.
Yeah.
And then there's listing fee for every store. Mate, I'm not Coca-Cola. I keep bringing back Coca-Cola.
Shout out Coca-Cola. We love you guys.
All right. I can't afford to pay 20,000 per SKU. I've got 15 of them, 16 of them. How am I going to afford to list each one in 22 of your stores? Or okay. Luckily, they understand that we're a smaller business, and they help you out. And sometimes the distributor that you have has a relationship with the supermarket, so they'll kind of off-take that pressure on you, and you balance it out in the books. But some of them tell you, no, you got to pay X listing fee and to get through the door, and
that's what you're gonna have. Yeah,
that's what you're gonna have to do.
Yeah, bro. This.
But there's a new, and I've said this last time. there's a new fondness for anything that's made local. Which I really appreciate.
And you guys are proudly made here.
Proudly
everything.
made in the UAE. So there's a lot of we're getting a lot of help, not help, but at least companies like ours who are pushing hard. That's not a conglomerate like the other beverage juice companies out there that are owned by, mashallah, people that are quite high up in this country, and they're looking at us saying, "Wow, these guys have done a good job. They're producing quality product, biodegradable bottle that we had to invest quite a bit of money to get there."
Oh, I'm sure.
And that really opened a lot of doors when we started producing or bottling a biodegradable bottle. The eyes were immediately honest, because no matter what, everybody has an ESG. Every company.
Exactly. If it just fits right in.
Yeah.
Healthy, good for employees, satisfies that. That.
There's substance report. ESR, economic substance reporting. You better have things like that ticked off your list. And it's funny, I try to explain doing business in the UAE or any part of the world in the US or the UK. Doing business in the UAE is a box ticking exercise. So
a box ticking exercise.
And I'll explain that. So people in the UK, when we listed the business, we had a forecast, right? We had to tell them we were in discussions with so and so. I can't say too much. There are so and so companies and and this is going to be what we're projecting, etc. 2 years later, we still haven't signed those contracts. But it's not our fault. It's just the way things are done in this part of the world. And the conversations might have been going for 2 or 3 years, and here it's very like, okay, box number 1. Every box has a surprise. You tick that, you're done with that, tick that box, move on to the next box. Open that box. You think it's easy. No, there's like another surprise. Tick that box. Then it's got to go to this box. Tick that box. Then it's got to go to chairman. Chairman, tick that box. Then it's got to go, and then it's got to go, and then approval and board. So by the time a decision is taken, it's so far down the line, but you have to keep pushing until
you get that payoff.
And this part of the world is very easy for Mr. So-and-so to sit with Mr. So-and-so and say, I don't want so-and-so in your restaurant. Or this part of the world is very easy to say,
of course,
no, please remove the...
Done. You're gone.
And a majlis to majlis, you sit together, هذا لا ما أحبه, هذا غلي. Bro, it's very... And like Europe doesn't understand that this is still a handshake majlis type,
Yeah. This is a face-to-face world here.
Face-to-face.
Yeah. Mafi. Yeah, that's how it works. And this kind of brings up the point about everyone is different and everyone deals with things in different ways. And this is kind of something we touched on last time. And I've been reading this book I just started a few days ago called Surrounded by Idiots. Really good book.
Yeah, good book, yeah.
So I'm just learning about different personality types, and I'm like, who am I? How does it work?
Yeah.
But you know what I've realized? This is the hardest part, because when I'm having let's say someone's handling a situation a certain way. Let's say I as Khalid will handle it differently. Now, I feel like it's like I have imagine like a bar of like progress. Okay, I can only keep an open mind and see your perspective till a certain point. If after all of this it's still not there, then like my thing will kick in, and I'll be like, why aren't you just doing that? And learning how to like get out of my perspective and into perception, like into that third eye view with everyone in every situation, and managing their emotions, and that is fucking hard. Jesus Christ, man. And it's just, I'm like, how do I become, I want to be the best at that, but I feel like it's almost impossible.
You don't know what people are going through in their lives. That's the problem. You don't know what's happening, bro.
Even that.
Sometimes you'll speak to somebody that you speak to somebody every day. I got a reply yesterday, funny enough, from somebody, and I was like, what kind of reply is that? I just found out he was having a difficult day. He apologized the next day, but you don't know what's going on in people's world. Yeah. And the problem is that you always have to I always maintain that I'm 200%. Yeah. I'm always the most positive guy, always running on the beach, always hitting the gym, always. Bro, I'm tired. And I'm stressed. And people treat stress differently. People deal with stress differently.
Yes.
People have, it's a large scale.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I stress, I need to be alone. I need to go walk on the beach. I talk to myself. That's how I manage stress. Some people are very quiet. Some people drink. Some people, I don't know. People fight. People get angry. Different people manage stress differently.
Yeah.
But again, you have an image to maintain. Whether some people have an image to maintain. Some people don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But for me, personally, I need to be here.
Yes.
Even if I'm having the worst day, for me, I don't give a shit what everyone thinks. Fuck everyone. I need to be here. I need to show everybody I'm here. I'm happy to be here. It's positive. It's good for me. It's reinforcing for me. I like, and invest in people who invest in themselves. I think I told you that last night. It's very, very important. You see some guy who's investing in himself, not financially, in himself, whether he's learning, he's in the gym, whether he's educating himself, whether he's helping people, whether he's the garbage cleaner and he's sitting there and he's reading something on. Invest in people that help. So many people have come to us. And I see what there was a guy who walked into the warehouse the other day. He was holding a book. He was studying something, and he came in. He needed a job in the kitchen. He's like, any job? And I saw he's learning something. I said, what is that? He's like, I forget what the book was. I can't remember exactly. It was some marketing. It was a marketing book. And he's like, I'm studying this. He was from Uganda. I hired him straight away. I said, yep, you go in, get a job. 100%. That's the guy that you want to be like, this guy, and he's going to work for you forever. That guy has now appreciated the fact that I saw that he had potential. So I go straight in there, have a job, Now he's juicing, and at least he's earning some cash. I don't know what he does with it, but yeah. Yeah. Things like that. You have to invest in people, invest in themselves, and that's just a small scale,
Yeah. And on the investing in yourself part, so my personal journey over the last 6 years, from Amsterdam. So in Amsterdam, I was when I came back, best shape in my life. Mindset was in the right place, in shape, everything was great. And then from 2020 to 2023, there was kind of, in my opinion, a decline, mentally a decline. Bro, but since last July, and if you can hear this, Lana, thanks to you. Lana sat me down, and because I was having so many health issues, with my stomach and whatever, and
it's all related back to
and weight and everything, and I'm like, she's like, look, you need to do for your health. You need to get better. So I started that's how I started working with Carlo and whatever, bro. Since then, now I have, and I'm gonna boast about this shit because fuck you and I don't care.
Yeah,
I have a morning routine now that I do. Whether I drank the night before, whether I did this, whether I did that. These are 7-8 things Khaled has to do every day before I talk to someone, before I do work. So either a workout, run, walk, whatever, gym, whatever, read, breath work, Spanish, mobility, memorization, and I think there was one more thing. And gratitude.
Very, very impressed.
Those 7 things.
And what was the last one?
Gratitude.
Okay.
Gratitude journal.
You just say thanks to...
So I write down every day 5 things I'm grateful for.
Really?
Yeah, every day.
Wow.
Every day. And it is helpful, but even within that, I'm like, once you get in, you're like, because I hate when people sell, you sell me the things I need to do, but the realities of actually doing them and going through that experience is a completely different thing. 100%. So don't sit down and tell me it's a game. It is a game changer, but it's not that simple.
No. And it's a game changer for yourself.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit what other... I get up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock. I have my thing. I do my thing with my dogs. I'm in the gym at 6 o'clock. Come back, walk the dogs again. Even on the weekend, the dogs start barking. It's 4:30. You had a drink. But it's just I need that hour alone.
It's for you.
It's for me.
It's
I'm
for
in the
you.
gym. Why are you so early? Why are you doing? Who wakes up at 4:30? Fuck you, dude. Walk a day of my shoes, bro. And it keeps you fucking laser focused. I'm so focused.
Yeah.
I need that start in the day. I enjoy seeing the same people. We have good conversation. We all do a workout, blah, blah, blah. Release some stress for the day, and I'm out. Yeah. And that's it. Now I've conquered my first part of what I do every day. Now let me take on the next project, and let me go whatever it is.
Yeah.
I need to do. Whether you're going to go kill the world, or you're going to embrace it, or whatever it is. You have the mindset.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And what I realized, I'm like, what is the thing I hate the most? What is the thing that frustrates me the most? When I feel like in any situation when there's no progress or I feel stagnant, that's when I get the most frustrated and I hate it. And I'm like, okay, then I start thinking, I'm like, what do I love the most? I'm like, I'm obsessed with learning. When I learn something new, that's why this podcast is my dream, because I just learn.
Yeah,
all the time. Every conversation, everything, I'm just like, between this and that, and I'm just like, ideas. So I'm like, I just want to learn every day. I'm like, okay. And then you have to look at all the areas of life and manage this and that, and this is for this is for that, and whatever. But so now I've been trying to take my morning routine because it's perfect. But now my challenge is, I'm like, okay, now I have to take morning routine and create a business routine that I need to do daily as well. And creating this system is where I think I'm struggling the most at the moment.
Focus, mate. I have a problem. I have a hard problem focusing. I'm quickly, somebody comes in for a meeting, we're sitting down in the office, And something that I don't know, be some topic that I'm not interested in, but I have to be interested in. And immediately I lose focus. I grab my phone. There's a message comes in. I look at my phone for a message. Like it's something I need to work on. 100%. It's just keep maintaining that focus. If I'm interested in it, I'm like this. If I'm not interested, then I'm like, fuck it. Then I should have to
boy. You check out. For
an hour and then
exactly.
But again, I mean, you got to know. You got to focus no matter what. What I should do is just put my phone away. And just dedicate, and literally, because I've got this massive screen, so whatever it is, bing, bing, something comes up, email comes through, WhatsApp comes through.
Check this, that,
and you're always
that. Yeah.
looking like this, and maybe I should just turn off the screen. Maybe that's put my phone away and turn off the screen. Or I have started putting my phone on silent in the office.
Nice.
So I see it, it's charging, and if it comes up, but at least it's not,
like in your face,
That can wait, you know?
The last message you said, was the message you wanted to tell people, reflecting on like your uni days, and the biggest message you learned is save and learn, save and learn, save and learn, save and learn. I'm curious, what have you learned in the last 4 years since our last conversation that you didn't know about before, that has been a big game changer for you?
For me personally?
Professionally, something you've learned that you're like, oh, I never knew.
No, I'll be honest. I'm short on a few things, and I need to get back to doing some courses just to sharpen. And that's a personal thing I need to do for myself, because I realize there's some topics that I'm not on par with. There's some topics that I'm very much on par with, and there's some topics that I'm the lead on. But there's some topics that I need to sharpen up, and the only way to do that is to go get yourself and do some courses, whether it's online or attend something, and go do that. You'll never stop learning. And there's always somebody who's smarter than you,
better, faster, stronger.
Yes, has much more money than you. You know, there's always somebody. There's always, everybody has a price, no matter who you are. There's always, and much more educated, smarter, financially more secure, has a better looking, better in shape. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But you just got to try to, find the balance to get there. And if you're weak on something, just go out there and educate yourself on how to be better.
Exactly.
And it's so easy now. It's so easy to just do an online course. Harvard is giving free courses.
YouTube. You have free courses for everything in the world that you could learn.
There's no excuse, to be short on something these days in knowledge. You can even, while you're talking in a meeting, oh shit, now I understand what that means. And and be comfortable around your people and your peers that you can ask the question. A lot of people are afraid to ask questions because they don't want to look stupid or they don't understand. But it should be normal to speak to somebody and say, and I do that to get with my business partner. We all speak. It's like, just one more time. Just let me clarify this because I didn't get that. And then they'll, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fantastic. Okay, then it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
Men don't ask for help.
You're telling me, bro? Yeah.
Men don't like to ask for help.
Yeah.
I love to talk. I'll listen to anybody. I go with walks with my friends. They all pour their heart. But men just don't like. You need to be very comfortable with your best friend or your friend to be able to say things that you're not.
Yeah.
Not alcohol infused liquid courage.
No.
Straight up. This is what's going on.
Truth.
I need to talk. Yeah, the truth. It's so hard. Dude. Men don't talk.
We don't. Oh my God, we can open a whole.
I want to start that podcast. I told you, walk with me. Walk up and down the beach and just talk.
That's a great idea for
every
a podcast.
day. You have a new guest, 2, 3 people walking, and just there's one I follow on Spotify. I forget what it's called, but it's something like Walk With Me or something. And the Stompcast. He's very good.
Okay.
And he just walks with people and just has a casual conversation. It's easy when you're walking because there's always something to distract you. There's always like, I don't know, somebody's walking past. There's a dog. Look at this restaurant. There's something happening it's just there's always like to break the ice and make it a bit more.
So it takes the intensity out of
the sitting. I think it's just easier, but depends on what you're going for. If you just want a casual conversation, that I like that method. Yeah.
No, I think for a casual conversation, something like that is perfect. Even for a deep, it could even work
for
a deep
will
one
evolve,
too.
But at least it's a bit more. There's somebody honking the horn.
There's back.
And
I think the setting of the beach as well.
Exactly.
There's a lot
or
more.
Anywhere. Walk in the park.
Yeah. Just walk with me.
Yeah, walk with me.
We're gonna work on that podcast. We're gonna make it for you. Last time on the show, I asked you, I'm like, what is your dream? And your dream was at the time, you said, I want to build a big successful juice business. Okay, here we are 4 years later now. Mashallah, alhamdulillah, you've publicly listed.
Yeah, it's getting there.
The question now becomes, so it sounds like you haven't reached the goal that you had in mind yet. But once you reach that, what's after that? You know, this is the business side, but what for you personally, what's the next one?
What's the next project, let's say, after essentially? I think about that regularly. So
you do? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think about it regularly. What do I want to do? Well, first of all, I hope that I'm always involved in this business. So no matter what, I hope it grows to the size that we are a regional and global business. I mean, the next project is to go into the neighboring countries set up shop there and do what we're doing. You know, that will change the game completely.
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. You hope and dream that on every table there's a bottle of these juices, you know, and now we're literally going to be, well, we are in 80% of the.
You guys are everywhere. I can find you guys everywhere.
Yeah, and now more soon, but we can't touch on that. So yes, just to be again a proudly made in the UAE brand that
means a lot
everywhere.
To you.
It does. It really does.
I can tell. Even last time, it really. Can you explain the feeling of why that makes you feel so proud that it's like here?
Well, because I've been here for so long, and I feel like I've given something back to the country. And because we're international kids, dude. We're Palestinians that were born in Kuwait, that lived in Cyprus, then came here to. You don't have a home. You don't have a country that you can say, this is who I'm supporting. I support Italy. I'm not Italian, but you know, I die for Italy. You know, like, oh yeah. I can sing the national anthem and I follow the rugby team and the football. Like I don't have to, but this is because you know. So this is the place that you know they took me in, you know, and I know everyone and I know every street, and it's just it is very important for me to make something out of this for the nation. Yeah. Whether they're looking at it or not.
Yeah, but you know what? I love that. And I can tell it means a lot to you because this is 4 years ago. You said that, and you're still saying it now. So that's a core true thing that means a lot to you, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Rish. So you're my first repeat guest on the show.
Yeah, buddy.
It's been 4 years. A lot has changed in 4 years. The message last time to people was, you know, to save and learn.
Save and learn.
Is there anything else you would tell people now that you think that you've taken in the last 4 years that you're like, I think this, take this into account as well. It might be very beneficial for you.
It is everything in life is an uphill battle. Like there's no easy way to get to where you're going. You could be happy to be an employee. You could be happy to be to own your own business. You can happy to be a bum, but at the end of the day, you got to work hard on yourself. I think working hard on yourself is what I've learned. Maybe in 4 years to work on myself. Yeah. This is what I need to do. Yeah. And it's an uphill battle. So you have to be brave enough, strong enough, have a good support team, whether it's your friends, your family, your business partners. Sometimes you say things to guys that you meet in bars that you're honest with somebody because you need to say it.
It just needs to get out.
You need to get out. You need to say something, and then you engage in that conversation. You know, don't stop working. Push yourself. If you believe in what you're doing, you will get there. But again, you need to
be realistic as well.
Be realistic about the end game and what is your end game, and when are you gonna realize? Okay,
Yeah, and I think on that point. That cutoff point that you mentioned, what I've been learning, and although I'm going to say this now, I don't feel it and I probably won't act that way, but what you should do is the healthy way to look at it is like, okay, let's say by the end of this year, you haven't hit the target that you wanted. Okay, that doesn't mean this business is dead.
No.
That means, okay, maybe you have to go do something else, keep this running on the side, and maybe you have to learn something from somewhere else to come back here and fix it. So it's never dead. It's not really a failure. I'm saying all these things, guys. I'm saying all this, but I would consider myself a failure, and I wouldn't want to do it. I'm being 100% honest. But the healthier thing to do, or the smarter thing to do, is to approach it from that perspective.
Yeah. You know, 100%. You're right.
Yeah. Raj, Habibi, this
Dude,
has been...
We should do this all the time,
bro. This has been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much for.
Of course, buddy.
You've been from day one.
I'm so proud of you for doing this, buddy. You don't get enough recognition for what you do, buddy. This is it's quite impressive. What are you on 100 and?
Yeah, we've done like 100. This is like 111, 112.
111.
Yeah, 111.
Pretty 111.
Literally almost 100. It's actually
from 11.
This is 100 episodes ago.
Dude, you do a good job, and you're easy to talk to, and dude, continue doing what you're doing, and good luck to you, man. I love you. You know that. You're my cousin. Yeah.
Habibi, bro. I love you so much. Thank you for always being in my corner. Thank you for always supporting me. From day one. And I'm so proud of what you've done and the business that you've built. I know how hard it is, and you deserve
thank you.
Everything you've gotten because
we're working on it.
You did it.
Almost there. We're there.
I'm so proud of you, Habibi.
Thank you for having me.
If people want to reach out, get some juice, where can we go?
Everywhere. We're everywhere now, so...
Essentially, guys, you can find it everywhere. Instagram, you can check them out.
Buddy.
The juices are fucking fantastic. If you don't believe me, go try it yourself. You'll see.
Thank you.
Habibi, love you, Rajruj. Guys, to everyone listening, thank you so much. Please make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe to the podcast on all channels at Hope It Helps Pod. And as always, guys, hope it helps.
Thank you.
Peace.
Whoa, that was
yes,
good.
sir.